was good. Check it. We the topic of discussion. Whisper in the ear, had a blush. Saying what it is, what it was. Baby, we the topic of discussion. Do you want to roll with a boss? You don't gotta worry about the cost. I'm high up, baby, I'm a star. I'm highly up, baby, I'm in charge.
Trill.
I was on mute. What's going on, everybody? As the commissioner, aka Trill, I'm here. I'm tapping in, man, live and direct, man, giving y'all the commissioner's recap, man. First of all, I want to thank everybody for tapping in and tuning in, man, and thank you once again for tuning into the IBOXINGHUB-USA. Yeah, I'm trying to get all this stuff working and doing all this stuff. Last week, man, we had a great fight last week, man. We had the Regis versus Diaz card. We had that popping on. We had the Oscar Duarte versus Kenny Smith Jr. We had both of those fights last week. So I want to talk about that, man, a little bit before we get into that. But before we get in there, let's have a word. Yeah. You already know what it is. That's D-Rock. Make sure y'all hit up D-Rock and get all your latest gear so you can, rock it out and talk it out like your boys are here at the iBoxing Hub. First of all, shout out to everybody at iBoxing Hub. And you gotta lock in and check out the shows and everything. Shout out to yours truly, Trey's in the comment section right now. What's going on, my brother, man? Let's go. It's the commissioner's recap, and this is the third episode. Like I said, I decided to do this by myself. Usually I have some guests with me and we chop it up about everything that was going on. But since this is the third episode of the commissioner's recap, I said I might as well just do it by myself because I am Trilogy, right? So it's only right. There's a lot going on in boxing, but before we get into what happened last week in Chicago, I just want to familiarize everybody on what I'm trying to do here with the commissioner's recap. A lot of times, saying you go on a lot of platforms and people want to hate, they want to, do that. I'm here to show love. That's what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to do, is show love. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in and that's locked in right now, wherever you're at right now. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to dive right into it. It's a lot of stuff that's been going on in boxing, man. I see a lot of people was, after the Usyk win, a lot of people was, talking about Usyk and, in the negative light. I actually touched on that on here and, comparing him to other fighters and stuff. Everybody know how I feel about comparing fighters and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody's great in their own right, and I get it. People like to compare and stuff like that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the people and the fighters who we got, why we got them. You know what I'm saying? Also, with other things going on, people was talking about Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you folks and try to make it seem like I'm a huge Tank Davis fan. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I agree with everything that this young man does and everything that he says. I've been critical of Tank in the past. I once, joking around, called him the undisputed interim champion, because I felt like he wasn't fighting the champions. I remember getting into a heated debate with somebody when he was fighting Ryan Garcia, and they was like, yeah, they're going to be fighting for them. I said, what belt are they fighting for? They're not fighting for no real belt. How are they fighting for the belts if Devin is undisputed? That doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But to the perception of people, you know what I'm saying, especially if they got their fighter that they root for, you can't tell them nothing. But what I will say is this, though. I noticed the things that the young man was going through in his personal life, and I was like, all right, I get it. I know how boxing is a lonely sport, and you're the only one in there getting taking the punches. You know what I'm saying? You're the only one in there taking the punches. So sometimes we lose sight of that and we look at these people like they're not human. You know what I'm saying? Um, Going into that fight with Lamar Roach, I said to anybody that would listen, I don't think that this is going to be the spectacular tank fight that people are used to or accustomed to seeing. From seeing his interviews, it seemed like he wasn't into it. It seemed like his mind was elsewhere. I don't know, relationship issues, personal issues on the out. He just seemed like he wasn't there. And he's like, we know with fighters, you got to be 100% focused, or you can't have one foot in and one foot out. You don't play boxing. People lose their life in this sport. So when I seen him talking about, about retiring and his heart not being there and not having a passion, I was like, oh, these are all the signs. This is all the signs. And then he got into a little bit more trouble outside the ring, and I seen like the internet and everybody was going crazy, especially on Twitter. Everybody was going crazy, wishing bad on the kid because of a performance, a bad performance. This is boxing. Boxing and life is two different things. You know what I'm saying? Boxing and life is two different things. Sometimes we get carried away a little bit and we forget to be human. And I think that sometimes when we get on this internet, people forget that that these are human beings that they're talking about. Everybody feels like since they don't show their face, I guess, that they can say whatever, and there's no repercussions and stuff like that for what the things that they say. But I've always said, be mindful of the things that you say, because you get back what you put out. The same energy that you put out in the world, you're gonna get it back. You know what I'm saying? You might laugh at a person one minute, and the next thing you know, you will be crying because you laugh now and you cry later. I made that up when I was talking about Belinga, how he cried. I mean, how he laughed about Caleb Plant and the Mungias and all that. And now, we've seen the reverse that happened to him. I say, you laugh now, you cry later, And when I was speaking about the young man Tank, people was wishing all types of stuff. I guess he had a situation with his baby. I don't know what's going on. I'm not into that. I let the legal system handle that, but I don't wish death or jail on no man unless you're a certain type of individual. But I don't wish death or jail on no man. And I think people got a little crazy, and you wonder why some of these fighters don't be wanting to fight. They don't be wanting to say nothing. It's not like how back in the days. Back in the days, it was a certain type of honor. These people would lose. They didn't have to worry about being trolled and stuff like that. We talk about all these greats in the past. They didn't have to deal with certain things that these young fighters have to deal with to this day. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So I think it's kind of, it's crazy. Like, we gotta be mindful sometimes of the things that we say, because we don't know what people going on in their lives. Especially, I'd always look at it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, something can be going on in your life, and you won't want people to react, and jump in the gun, with your situations and stuff like that. So when I seen that Tank situation, I said, like, everybody, let it play out. Still a young man, you know what I'm saying? Still a young man going through some things. Let it play out and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody's talking about, oh, he disappeared. What's going to happen? Is he going to retire? Is he going to come back and fight for it? We don't know. Is he going to come back and fight Lamar Roach? But Lamar Roach got some options. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the comment section. But yeah, Lamar Roach got some options. You got people from Shakur Stevenson to everybody trying to fight Lamar Roach after this draw that he got against Tank. And I get it. When you're up at the top, right? People expect certain something from you, right? There's a certain level. They expect something from you, and when you don't deliver, they can't wait to see you fall. But shout out to the chat right now. Shout out to yours truly, Trey. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Karma. She's in the comment section as well. Shout out to the team. I appreciate these people right there, man. And you will see them on the commissioner's recap very, very soon. I wanted to talk about the fights last week. Regis versus Diaz. Like I said, I took some notes. I normally don't do this. I usually fly off the head and the heart. But while I was watching the fight, I was entertained, really. I didn't expect this, right? I expected this to be like, one of those they give it all they got, but it was underwhelming performance. One of those things. That's what I was expecting, but I didn't get that. Regis versus Diaz. They was calling this a crossroads fight, but it delivered a little more than that. I had it a draw. I want to do it again. Let me break it down. Regis was doing his thing with the combos. He had those flying, and his jab was everything he had. His offense was on point, but his punch resistance was off to me. I picked him going in thinking that Diaz would be small and this would be a showcase for him. But Diaz was fighting with his heart. That cut he received, I think, hurt him in the fight with his vision, but he couldn't close the distance. And when he did, Regis used his head, no pun intended. Diaz was coming back from more than a few losses. He was coming back from a dark place. He moved to Houston and got rid of the drinking, and he locked in with his family and his team. And I think it's amazing how boxing changes lives and will motivate you and get you back on track. And it's the discipline. Regis outboxed Diaz, but Diaz outfought Regis. This was like one of those old classics. But like I said, I had it a draw, and I want to see it again. But even if it doesn't happen, I would love to see with these fighters, especially Diaz. I want to see what this young man does next. So, like I was talking about during this fight last week, yeah, Regis, he came out guns blazing. You know what I'm saying? He was throwing everything but the kitchen sink. I don't know if he got himself tired. I don't know what it was. But he was throwing all types of punches, and he was hitting Diaz. Some of them was hitting, some was hitting him on the gloves. Then he had it was a couple of headbutts. And then opened up a cut on Diaz's eye. It was crazy. But yeah, like I was saying, um, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. They gave it to Regis, a unanimous decision. If you wanted to give it to, it's okay, because even going back, what I'm saying, looking at the fight again, I had it 115, 113 for Regis. So I thought that he definitely pulled it up, but in the heart of the fight, just watching the fight, you know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be a draw. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted it to be a draw because I wanted to see it again. I still want to see it again. You know what I'm saying? This was just one of those fights that was just a good fight. Diaz had Regis hurt and doing the stinky leg a couple of times. He only said that he was rocked once. He was rocked a couple of times. We seen it. You can't, say your legs was, you know what I mean? But maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But it looked like he was hurting there a couple of times. It looked like it was a battle, it was a war. It was one moment in the fight where the Diaz went over to the corner, and the cut man was telling him, he was like, oh yeah, I mean, not the cut man, the doctor was like, how many hands you holding up? And he had one of it. Diaz was like, you got two. The doctor still let him go out there. The doctor was a fan of the fight. He didn't even care if he could see it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's how exciting the fight was. And hopefully that these young men, they can get it on again, man, because I don't see where Regis can go from here. After this performance last night, I honestly was telling the people around me that I hope that he hangs it up, and I wish that he would hang it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that this is his last hurrah. With all due respect, you know what I mean? I don't want to be rude, but I honestly think that this was his last hurrah. But what do I know? You know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't like it. The punch resistance wasn't there. And this is from a guy, a smaller guy moving up. And it's his first time at this weight. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish that if they're not gonna get in there again, I don't want to see Regis talk about he wanted to go up there for a belt. I don't want to see him in there with none of these killers, man. I really don't. I don't want to see him in there with none of these killers. That would be crazy. Yeah, that's not what that's not what I want. But Diaz, man, they was talking about him hanging it up after this. Nah, he got like a second win, I think. You know what I'm saying? He put down the booze. He dedicated this fight to his children. He's dedicated to his family. He got a second chance. This was just the first fight here against Regis. Give him another shot. See what he looks like. Because he showed me something in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Even with the loss, he showed me something. And that's what I want young fighters to know, too. You don't have to worry about a loss, because look how many losses that these gentlemen got. You don't have to worry about losses. It's not about losses. The fans are not going to clown you for the losses. You know, they're going to clown you if you don't go out here and you don't show and prove. You know what I mean? You go out here, you talk all this crazy stuff, and then you come out here and then you pitch a dud. That's why you get all the criticism and stuff like that. You know, people don't care about loss. That's why I want real boxing fans. I want promoters too, if they listening. Real boxing fans don't care about losses. We care about the effort that you put in. I've been on record saying there's been stars that have been made off of losses. There's guys that have done winning there and they done lost, but they performed so well that they became household names. I'm sure you can name some in the comment section. But there was so once again, excuse me, once again, young fighters, it's not that you lost, it's how you lose. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in the back of your mind, especially if you're bringing a certain type of energy. They're gonna want to see you come out here and show and prove. There's other fights that was on the card as well. It was the main event: Oscar Duarte versus Kenny Smith Jr. Question. I had a question while I was watching this. Does anybody know if there was drug testing for this fight? You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, because Duarte looked like a bodybuilder in there. For some odd reason, he looked bigger than he normally looked in any other fight. Not taking anything away from this the victory. I actually thought that he was going to win another fight, but this was actually another fight, you know what I'm saying, that I had a draw. But I could see it being 115, 113 for Duarte. I would love to see this fight again. Sim showed me something in this fight. He was supposed to be food in his hometown, but Sims didn't get the memo. We all know who De La Hoya's favorite is, but Sims, well, didn't let him fall. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but Sims, you know, his heart wouldn't let him fall in that fight against Oscar. I would love to see this fight again as well. You know, I guess they're trying to make a fight between Gary Russell Jr. and the winner of this fight right here. But I think both fighters should fight each other again. That once again, last Saturday to me, man, I'm not even gonna lie, was just like good fights. I didn't expect neither one of these fights to be what we got. So shout out to De La Hoya and Golden Boy. You put on some good fights, and they both to me was draws. You know what I mean? But both I want to see again. I don't think like none of these guys had a clear victory, like one washed the other or something like that. Nah, I want to see both of these fights again. You know, I would love to see the kid Sims. I don't want them to hang him up. And like I said, he got losses on his record. Duarte got losses on his record. He got knocked out by Ryan Garcia. But he's back in the mix of things. He could be fighting Gary Russell Jr. next for the belt, you know? But I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I hope these guys run it back, because Sims, they definitely need to run it back. Sims was in his hometown. He came out with G Herbal. You know, it was live. I was in Chicago as well. It was a dope atmosphere in there, man. He came out there, and I think that people really, they wanted him to lose. I really think that they picked him to lose in that fight, but the young man, he didn't get the memo, man. I think it was really dope. Shout out to everybody in the comment section once again. Let's see what they saying in here. What Alex saying in here? He's talking about the yeah. Duarte looked yoked. Yeah, he did, man. He looked big, man. He looked like a muscle bounder in there, a bodybuilder in there, man. I didn't know what was going on with him in there. There was a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But yeah, like I was saying, shout out to Oscar De La Hoya for putting on a dope card. I didn't expect it. Like I really didn't. I'm not gonna hold you. I really thought this was gonna be like one of those, you know what I'm saying, type of fights. But once again, I want to say shout out to everybody that's watching right now. I really appreciate y'all. Please like and subscribe. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Next week, you know, we're going to have my man Alexander the Great. He's going to be my permanent co-host moving forward. We already chopped it up. We already talked about it. Shout out to Miss Carmen Serene, her too. You're going to be seeing her on the show a lot, especially when we do these watch-alongs and stuff like that. We got a big fight coming on August 16th. That's in a few Saturdays. I'm gonna try to team up, right? This is what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to do something really dope. Matter of fact, let me tell you who's on that card first. You got Flip Hershevich. He's fighting. You know what I'm saying? You got Raymond Ford fighting. You got Nick Ball fighting. And you got Moses Atama fighting Dillian White. It's going down. So this is what I decided to do. I decided to put the USA iBoxing Hub, you know what I'm saying, with the UK iBoxing Hub, and we just mash it up and we do a watch along together. So that's what I'm trying to set up for the people, man. I think it would be dope. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of dope people that's on the iBoxing Hub UK side that's doing their thing. Like, you know, our brother that hold it down, a tremendous one, yours truly, Trey, telling everybody to please like, share, and subscribe. And thank y'all so much. Matter of fact, going into those fights are going to be in Saudi Arabia. My man is going to be there. My man Rico is going to be in Saudi Arabia. I heard he's going to be in there, man. So we just going to chop it up. I'm definitely going to chop it up with him. And hopefully he can give us an insight of what's going down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a dope event. Like I was saying, that is going on. So please, in the comment section, tell me, because this is what I'm also going to start doing, right? I had this show that I did. It was called Give Them Their Flowers, right? And I was doing that show, and it was something that was dear to my heart because I wanted to give, you know, fighters their flowers from in the past. As y'all can see, I did interviews with like James. I did an interview with James Toney, right? And I got another interview coming with another Hall of Famer coming real soon, right? So I want to give the old fighters, you know what I mean? Because when the crowd stops yelling, you know what I'm saying? People tend to forget about them and forget about, you know, all the great things and all the joys that they brought us. You know what I mean? In this thing of boxing. So I'm gonna start bringing back the whole giving them their flowers, where I give fighters their flowers and let them know how much they appreciate it, you know, and the joy that they have brought us. You know what I mean? And once again, also I want to thank the iBoxing Hub for allowing me to do this, man, and bring dope people on and bring y'all some dope shows and bring y'all dope content, because that's what it's all about, man. I'm just here to be able to, you know, I just want to be sit here and just talk boxing with y'all like we kicking it on the streets. I'm not trying to be so political and not trying to have it be so emotionally charged where people are arguing. I wanted to be lighthearted, some boxing talk where we show respect and have a little bit of decor and class and stuff like that. So that's what I'm here, and that's what I'm here to do. Not only am I here to do that, I'm also here to boom. Let me bring it up. Drop some dope music on y'all. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. That's what I'm here to do. Come here and drop some dope music. August 6th, this Wednesday, I decided to drop another song. Y'all already know. Y'all can go and get my Transformation of Trill album out now on all streaming services. Y'all can go check that out right now. Y'all can go get that right now. The Transformation of Trill album out on all streaming services. The reason I decided to drop this single is because I was doing a whole new show and I was feeling a whole new way with a whole new vibe. And I get so much support from everybody. I wanted to give y'all something as well. So I decided to drop another song, another single called Topic of Discussion. It'll be out August 6th on all streaming platforms. It's going to be one of those ones. I'm sure you're going to love it. I was planning on playing it for y'all. That's what I was planning on doing. I was planning on playing it on the air for y'all just to give y'all a little snippet of what's to come. I don't know. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Let me see if it works. Can y'all hear it?
Feels good. I made men, yeah, I put the work in. Acting from the door, that's a Birkin. Got her all sprung off this dopeness. Fuck her hopeless, like I'm homeless. She say you so nasty when you rap. I proceed to snatch your soul from the back. A lot of things change, but I'm still wild. And them guys got the switches on them now. Thinking that I'm sweet, I leave you toothless. Don't be foolish, bitch, I'm ruthless. I make this bitch move like I'm ludicrous. Fast and furious, how I do the shit. Be the topic of discussion. Whisper in the air, had a blushing. Saying what it is, what it wasn't. Baby, we the topic of discussion. Do you want to roll with a boss? You don't gotta worry about the cost. I'm high up, baby, I'm a star. I'm holly up, baby, I'm in charge. All the slippers with a buy, I'm running cheap. If it ain't about no money, I don't go on dates. You can talk to them or roll with a vet. While I run around the block in Givenchy sweat. Gotta match my energy, how's your cardio? Can you ride a cowgirl like a rodeo? I support my pros, you know how it goes. Throw a couple ones in centerfolds. I'm just trying to live good, mind my own business. On foreign lands, playing with a half a ticket. I'm working hard, working different shifts. It's okay to dream, but I'm working till some shit. We the topic of discussion. Whisper in the air, had a blushing. Saying what it is, what it wasn't. Baby, we the topic of discussion. Do you want to roll with a boss? You don't gotta worry about the cost. I'm high up, baby, I'm a star. I'm holly up, baby, I'm in charge.
Man, listen, man. Man, listen, topic of discussion. I get away with it. I get away with doing madness, man. I get to play my music on air. I get to talk boxing. I get to hang out with you guys, man. I get away with crazy stuff on air, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you for rocking with it, man. It will be out August 6th, this Wednesday. Topic of discussion. I'm just having a good time. This is grown man rap. I'm just your favorite uncle. That's what it is. You know, your favorite uncle that be at the barbecue, you know what I'm saying, with the earpiece on, you know what I'm saying, and the hot one. You know what I'm saying? I'm just your favorite uncle. That's just me. You dig? Just living life and loving life, man, and my people that's in it. You dig? So once again, man, thank you for chopping it up with me, man, for the third episode of the Commissioner's Recap. I really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for tuning in. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat, too. It means so much to me, man, because I'm not no one of these guys that be paying for the subs and all that stuff like that. And I'm just a regular guy that loves talking boxing. That's it. So I appreciate y'all willing to just kick it with me, man. I appreciate you guys from the heart. It means a lot, man. I want everybody, man, to be safe and all that. Much love, much respect. Be kind to each other, man. And thank you once again. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Not only would you see me in the Commissioner's Recap, you will also see some other dope people as well. And you will also see some dope shows, dope content as well. Not only that, we got the block party, watch alongs. You dig? So like I said, our next one that we're doing is going to be for the big fight. I'm going to try to have it USA iBoxing Hub and the UK iBoxing Hub all under one umbrella, doing it big for the watch along. It's going to be a big party, block party. And shout out to my man Reed. He's going to be there in Saudi Arabia. So hopefully he's sending some pictures and stuff so I can act like, you know, I was there. You know what I'm saying? So I can act like I was there. But once again, man, shout out to everybody that was in the chat and shout out to everybody that was watching. Much love, much respect. Be good to each other. I'm out of here.
Feels good. Discussion. Whisper in the air, had a blush. Saying what it is, what it wasn't. Baby, we the topic of discussion. Do you want to roll with a boss? You don't gotta worry about the cost. I'm high up, baby, I'm a star. I'm holly up, baby, I'm in charge. Trill.